Welcome back. You're live with Expresso on this Friday morning. Time to get serious for a second. As land reform, I think, is a subject that we struggle to broach because it is so hotly contested in South Africa at the moment, and understandably so. But we now tackle it through an eloquent storytelling in a documentary titled This Land.
Now, there's no stronger and more resonant voice than that of a community that stands together to fight and protect what is important to them. And this is what we've seen at the Makhasaneni community in Kwa-Zulu Natal, whose residents are currently facing a threat of a second forced removal in as many decades. Now, joining us on Expresso this morning is Miki Redelinghuys, the director of a documentary called This Land, which chronicles their story and is currently showing at the 19th edition of the Encounters Documentary Festival. And thank you so much for being here. And also thank you for, I guess, being brave enough to take on this very, very important issue of land appropriation, reappropriation, forced removal. But I want to just maybe first of all find out how long you've been part of this project and how it came about that you directed this documentary.
I was approached by, we were approached, Plexus Films was approached by the Land and Research Accountability Centre, which is an organisation based at UCT, and they work specifically on issues which pertain to tribal leadership in areas that were formerly homelands, and specifically where these the tribal laws undermine democratic rights of the citizens there. Yeah.
Give me a bit of a backstory in terms of where this comes from. What happened in Makhasaneni way back when? What is the status quo right now, and what is this threat that the community is facing?
Makhasaneni was formerly in the KwaZulu homeland, and many of the people that are there today were forcibly removed in the time of the creation of KwaZulu. So they were moved from areas like Melmoth, which was part of Natal, which is where the white people stayed, and they were moved to Makhasaneni, which is extremely beautiful today. But when you're there, you can see that it would not have been a commercially enticing place for a farmer. It's very beautiful, but it's a hard and difficult place to farm.
But still a place that nonetheless these people call home now, and now they face this threat. So what is the threat that they're facing, and how have the people come together to address this issue?
Well, the point that the people there are making is that they've made this place their home. After 30, 40 years, they've made it their home. They've come to love it. Their family members are buried there, and they have a connection with the land. In 2013, they started noticing people coming in, people that were not familiar to the community, and it is quite remote, so when you see strangers coming in, you start wondering what's going on, and cars arriving, people coming and going, digging. Rumours started going around that there was going to be a mining development. People's plough fields were damaged because the mining prospection, they sort of put chemicals into the ground and it damaged things. Water was contaminated, animals drank the water, animals died. So people were getting angry.
Yeah,
and then their livelihoods were put on the line. And they heard rumours that they were going to be forced, they were going to be removed from the land. And in the community, there's a man called Makhasaneni, who then also becomes our lead character in the film. And he's been a land activist for 30 years. You know, he's a fiery, strong, and motivated leader, and he drives the move to get to the bottom of this, to find out who gave these people the right to come onto their land and start drilling.
And of course, there's a lot that goes into making a documentary or a film like this, because you've got to tell the story as honestly as possible from the people's perspective so that everyone out there understands it. And I understand that after the screening of This Land, you will be hosting a panel discussion with some very influential people, from government officials to members of the community. What is it that you hope to achieve at the end of the day once people have watched This Land?
In terms of advocacy, the idea was to raise the attention to the fact that it's so important for people to have their land rights recognized. Until people's land rights are not recognized, they will be open to this kind of exploitation. The land conversation is big in South Africa. It's, you know, there's the conversation in the farming communities, there's township conversations about service delivery. It's all related. There's Reclaim the City. You know, we need to be having these conversations. So we've tried to make our panelists broad, to have a broad and all-encompassing conversation about land and access to land and access to resources.
Well, Miki, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and good luck with a very important discussion that you are going to have, as you said, at a time when things like reclaim the city, reclaim the land, give back the land are hashtags that we're seeing all around social media. And thank you very much for joining us once again. So as we just said now, each screening of this land at Encounters will be followed by an engaging panel discussion that includes members of the community and esteemed government officials. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure that you catch it in Cape Town tomorrow and on Wednesday, and then in Johannesburg next Saturday. And for more information, visit encounters.co.za.